We're in studio right now. We have Paul Brown of the K&N Motorsports G35 team.
Paul, you drive kind of a unique vehicle. It's the Infiniti G35. Talk about what you've done to improve that car from its stock form.
The car went through a full development. It started off as a show car, so it was a trailer queen and it was all polished and pretty. It had never gone to a full race car, and then they ended up doing the roll cage and the twin turbos, and it's basically a big version of the 350Z. So a lot of those similar components interchange, and we just went through and refined them and made some adjustments, and the guys did a great job.
Super session just started, and this is going to determine which cars battle one another.
It's Joey Scarallo as the green flag flies over Willow Springs out in front. And there goes Paul Brown making up 2 spots, moving from 7th to 5th in the first turn. The first turn done in the 2. It's Scarallo, Sheehan, Wagner, Gelati, Brown, Wolf, and Sarin bringing up the back as they come up the hill right now. And Joey Scarallo begins to pull away, opening up a big gap between himself and Gary Sheehan. And it's forming up to be a tight battle for 3rd right now as Wagner is out in front of Gelati and Paul Brown. Joey Scarallo all by himself, Sheehan chasing him down. Here comes Paul Brown. Paul Brown goes inside and gets past Gelati, makes up 1 more spot. Paul Brown now from 7th all the way up to 4th, and he is challenging on Wagner as they go into 2. Wagner able to hold him off just a little bit longer. But here goes Paul Brown again. Paul Brown taking the outside line as they come up into turn 3, and Paul Brown is holding it, heading towards the top of the hill in turn 4. We have a mini battle right now, facing up in the all-wheel drives for 6th position. Sarin up on 3 wheels as he tries to make a move on Wolf. But Wolf able to hold him back, so it's still Lars Wolf in front of Andre Sarin for 6th position. Wolf brake checking right there on Sarin. He definitely wants that 6th position. And here comes Paul Brown now fuddling around with the gearbox. Looks like he might have lost the transmission again. Both Wagner and Gelati fly past Paul Brown. Joey Scarallo all alone out in front. Gary Sheehan riding comfortably in 2nd. There goes the checkered flag for Joey Scarallo in the Group A Wheels GTO. And here we see Paul Brown trying to chase down the rest of the pack, but he's not going to have enough time. It's going to be Court Wagner, Lou Gelati, and Paul Brown.
Here's how the Supersession results place our drivers for the first round of the double elimination championship brackets. In studio, we have Lars Wolf, number 23 from the Works Motorsport team, to give us a driver's eye view of the championship bracket Heads Up Racing. This is a double elimination competition where the winners move on and the losers load on their trailers. Race 1, Group A Wheels Joey Scarallo versus Tech Division's Des Ballard.
The Tech Division Mini just never could get back together. The car was in pieces. The engine was melted in parts. It wasn't going to happen for Tech Division today.
And Des watched Joey Scarallo take his laps. So Lars, why does he take solo laps?
If he would have sat out that round and not taken that parade lap, the people that were behind him would have run their cars, their tires would have gotten a little more worn, and Joey would have been on fresh tires. So they sent him around the track a couple times, so when he does go to his next round, there's more of an equal playing field.
Race 2, K&N Motorsports Paul Brown versus LG Motorsports Lou Gelati.
The green flag is up, and it looks to be Paul Brown as he goes into turn 1 in the K&N G35. Paul Brown holding the lead in front of Lou Gelati in the Corvette. After the first lap, it's still Paul Brown. Gelati is challenging, still just about a car and a half behind. And there goes Gelati. Inside on Paul Brown is going to 3, and Paul Brown looks to make a move. Brown gets cut off by Gelati as they go through the top of the hill in the Omega. You see Paul Brown on the brakes there as he gets cut off again, making the move to the outside right now as they go through 8 into 9. Paul Brown's trailing, and he kicks in the turbocharged power. Oh, drops 2 wheels off now. Paul Brown getting by Gelati at the last second for the win.
Stay tuned for the crowning of Miss Redline, Willow Springs. Race 3 was a really interesting matchup of the Fontana Nissan Racing GTR of Court Wagner versus the Works Motorsport Evo 10 of Lars Wolf.
We had him in the braking in the turn 1, probably because of the weight difference. He's full weight, and I'm down to 2,900 pounds. We went out there and gave everything we had. I really felt like the ball of yarn, and Court Wagner was the cat, so to speak.
So for race 3, Kurt Wagner was the winner. Race 4 brought us another really interesting matchup with the TH Motorsports Subaru Impreza of Andrei Tsarin versus the Fontana Nissan 350Z of Gary Sheehan. Two totally different cars.
Yeah, you've got an all-wheel drive car versus a rear-wheel drive car, a 3.5-liter engine versus a 2.7 turbocharged engine. Could not be from more opposite worlds.
I spoke to Andre, and he was saying that like 2 or 3 years ago, he was running for groceries in that Subaru.
I had this car for about 3 years and just been tweaking it and nonstop.
So this started as your street car?
Yep. It
Wow.
was until last year. I still drove it on the street.
Andre beat Gary into the first corner on the first lap.
He knew exactly where to go, knew exactly how deep he could go. I think surprised Gary, actually. We don't know these other drivers. We don't know their strengths and their weaknesses, and that's the great part about it.
And Gary was able to get past him in the straightaway like he was standing still. But then Andre, once again, comes around with another great pass.
Yeah, in turn 3, he just got the braking point perfect, and it set him up. You know, Gary tried to take the inside, do a little blocking, and just Shannon went right by him and, you know, kept him there until going down the hill from 4 to 5.
I wanted to go down to Andre's car and see if there was like a little indentation for the accelerator in the floor to see how hard he'd been pressing to keep it in front of the 350Z, because it really was a stunning drive from him in a car that, you know, that was an underdog. That gave the race 4 win to Gary Sheehan in the Fontana Nissan 350Z. Race 5 brought out 2 crowd favourites. It's K&N Motorsports' Paul Brown versus Group A Racing's Joey Scarallo. Joey Scarallo set down some blistering lap times.
Yeah, Joey's going to be one to watch. He's really got a car that's sorted well, put together, enough power to really win it all.
I had a chance to talk with Joey about a difficult time that almost crushed his racing dreams.
I was 13 years old and found out I had a brain tumor. I had already been racing, and the doctor said, look, that's pretty much done. That whole dream, shelve it. I wasn't going to have any of that.
So how long did that take you away from the track?
Well, I mean, luckily it happened in the off-season. So look, Doc, you got to get this done in January. We can't do this in no April and May, you know?
Seriously, did you not miss a season?
Nah.
Wow.
Yep, jumped off the operating table and won 2 national championships. It was just a miracle.
Race 6 brought us an all-Fontana Nissan affair. Fontana Nissan Racing's Kurt Wagner versus Fontana Nissan Racing's Gary Sheehan.
Unfortunately, there's no real chance for Kurt Wagner in this. A properly built race car is going to win hands down every time in this battle.
Race 6 was taken by Gary Sheehan in the Fontana Nissan 350Z, which took us to race 7. Race 7 is the first race of the losers bracket, and it pits LG Motorsports' Lou Gilardi against Tech Division's Des Ballard. Unfortunately, there was only ever going to be one winner of this race, and it was going to be Lou. Race 8, TH Motorsports' Andrei Tsarin in his WRX versus Works Motorsports' Lars Wolf in the Evo 10.
You know, as the race started, got the jump on him like we've been doing all weekend. He really went for it into turn 1, got me into turn 1, wasn't ready for it. At that point, I had the red mist a little bit. I was really angry with myself that I'd let him go by. I had the inside line, I had everything set up for me, and I made a couple mistakes as the race went on.
Race 8 was stolen by the TH Motorsports crew of Andrei Tsarin and his Impreza, which took us straight on to race 9. The Fontana Nissan Racing GTR of Kurt Wagner up against the LG Motorsports car of Lou Gilardi and his Corvette, but it didn't happen.
Another breakdown for Lou Gilardi. He battled with the transmission the night before. This time it was something as simple as an alternator bracket that broke, leaving him without any power, no racing.
Race 9 was a by-lap win for Kurt Wagner and the Fontana Nissan Racing GTR.
I can guarantee you we will not come back again and let these young punks kick my butt again.
Race 10, K&N Motorsports' Paul Brown versus TH Motorsports' Andrei Tsarin.
So here we have the battle of 2 vastly different turbocharged cars, the show car versus the grocery getter. Paul Brown and Andrei Tsarin side by side as they go into 1. Tsarin way dangerous in that outside line and still side by side into 2, driving like they're on rails. Tsarin driving it like he stole it to keep up with Paul Brown in that K&N G35. Tsarin doing everything he can to hold on and get past Paul Brown to win this race. Brown begins to open it up, but it's still neck and neck as they make their way down through the back straightaway. Paul Brown cannot shake Andrei Tsarin. Paul Brown with the lead over Tsarin right now. Andre Sarin chasing him down, and Paul Brown coming up the hill. Whoa, gets a little slippery. Obviously, Sarin is putting the pressure on, but Brown recovers and keeps the lead as they head up the hill. And Paul Brown begins to open up the lead. Sarin starts to chase as they come down through 9. And whoa, Andre Sarin getting wide. Can't hold the line. Starts to mow the lawn. But Paul Brown takes the checker flag, and Andre Sarin takes a bit of landscaping.
Race 11 was Goliath against Goliath. Group A Racing's Joey Scarallo in his GTO versus Fontana Nissan's Gary Sheehan in the 350Z. Joey Scarallo in the Group A Racing GTO took race 11, and Gary Sheehan dropped down to lose his bracket.
Joey Sr., your son's out there, and seeing him kill it on the racetrack, but also knowing that just 17 years ago he was literally battling for his life, what kind of emotions go through your head when you see him out there? I saw you guys exchange a hug right before.
The doctor said he would never race again.
Never.
And he said that's not true. I'm going to race and I'm going to win. So when we come to the track, we want to exceed abundantly because it's encouragement for everybody. We want everybody to be safe, and then we want to kick their ass.